Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're back from our adventures in the Mouse Kingdom.
The Mouse Kingdom.
The Mouse Kingdom. We were in Disney World for the last couple days. If you guys checked out the live streams, that's why there haven't been a lot of pre-recorded videos. The ones we had were recorded a couple of days ago. So people were like, why aren't you jumping on this current event? And that's why, because we weren't here to jump on.
Right, we weren't here to jump on it.
We weren't here to jump on it. So this is really interesting. Disney yesterday had their first quarter earnings call, and it would appear that they're done with Star Wars movies for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
According to Bob Iger, because we've heard all kinds of things about this new supposed trilogy. Then we talked about independent movies.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy was the one who was saying that they're going to keep doing movies, but they were going to be like these more. They weren't stuck having to follow the trilogy formula now, and they could do more movies that were like independent, like almost like the stories films.
Yeah.
But they would all be connected in some way that would be this overarching story across these different films, but they weren't like actually trilogies and whatever.
Like the MCU.
Yeah, basically the MCU.
This would be the Star Wars FU is what this would be. So we're going to talk about that and what this could mean for Star Wars going forward. Might talk a little bit about Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World. We actually had a chance to visit and whatever. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe, guys. We're at about 92,000 subs, hoping for 100,000 soon. Give us one for the algorithm.
There you go.
Sub, I mean. Give us a sub for
a sub for the algorithm.
Sub.
Okay.
Give us a sub for the algorithm. All right, so this coming from The Guardian, and we've got a couple different versions of this. Now, I actually missed the earnings report because we were in the airport or on our way to the airport at the time during the earnings call, and I didn't have a chance to listen to it, but one of the key things that apparently came up was Star Wars. Now, I know the last earnings call, which I did sit in on, Bob Iger got very testy anytime anybody would ask him about Star Wars. Because he didn't seem to have an answer. Everything was Rise of Skywalker.
No, everything was about Disney Plus, which again, it seems like that was the way this call was going as well, because, did you know that we have 28.6 million subscribers for Disney Plus? But of those 28.6 million subscribers, they are not telling you how many of them were the Verizon free yearly subscribers. They're not telling how many of those were ones who got them free through the Disney company, because they give their employees the option of having it for free. They weren't telling you how, if they were counting, which they were, anybody who, subscribed for the free trial and then canceled. Were those people counted in that number? Are these current subscribers or subscribers overall? They're not going to tell you any of that because they want to, they want to spin the narrative to their, for their favor for stock, for stock improvements and.
Yeah, it's whatever looks best. Those are the numbers they use. That's Disney, whatever, and that's pretty much any corporation. It's whatever looks best is what they're going to give you. And but somebody did get an answer. A stockholder got an answer out of Bob Iger. Very interesting.
About Star Wars?
About Star Wars. Yeah, very direct answer. Because again, last time, he did push everything over to Disney Plus. You asked about Star Wars. Well, we got The Mandalorian coming. Well, what about Star Wars? Well, The Rise of Skywalker's coming. It's going to be huge. Rise of Skywalker's going to be huge. It wasn't. It turned out to be very disappointing. People were like, how can a $1 billion movie be disappointing? Given how much it costs and how it has underperformed compared to the other two Sequel Trilogy movies, it's a bust. It's a bust. It probably, maybe, possibly might break even, but...
Star Wars has been in decline since Last Jedi. I don't care how you slice it. It has been, every movie since Last Jedi on has just gone down further. And after The Last Jedi, it just completely went off a cliff. I mean, a week after The Last Jedi, it just kind of went off a cliff. So. Yeah,
but now we're playing a blame game. We'll talk a little bit about that too. Now everybody's blaming J.J. Abrams and not Rian Johnson. And I can kind of see their point because they're
I think it's a combo of the two.
It was the lack of planning.
Actually, the person who's most responsible for this would be Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it was their job to make sure there was a planned story. And even the people that were like, white knighting for The Last Jedi and for Disney Star Wars, now they're disappointed in The Rise of Skywalker, they're even admitting, I don't think there was a plan.
No
shit. We were calling this for years. There is no plan. It's clear there was no plan.
Yeah.
Very clear.
So this is interesting. This version coming from Digital Spy. This is kind of the distilled version. Disney boss confirms status of Star Wars movies after The Rise of Skywalker. Here's his official announcement. It said Disney is officially putting Star Wars movies on the back burner. The House of Mouse is coming off both Solo and The Rise of Skywalker, delivering disappointing box office figures. It's just the haters on YouTube.
That's right.
The latter of which may have been expected by Disney. While Disney was once planning to alternate Star Wars and Avatar movies every year, Bob Iger preempted the Rise of Skywalker by warning it would likely be followed by a bit of a hiatus. That might be true. They might have known it was going to underperform.
Who was banging down the door for Avatar movies? Let's be honest here.
Because they have a ride.
Because they have a ride, and they're doing this, and these movies have been in development for quite a while. We're still not getting a first Avatar movie for a couple years yet, I don't think.
No.
And they were showing the actors like 2 years ago.
4 of them. They're doing like 4 Avatar movies.
I know,
or
it's like
ridiculous.
nobody has asked for this. Nobody has asked for more Avatar movies.
Avatar, here's this weird, the ride's popular, but it could have literally been anything else. It could have been, you could have ridden just a giant turkey and it still would have been the same thing. It's not popular because it's Avatar. It's popular because the ride's good. A lot of people who go to Pandora and Disney World don't even care about the movie.
I have never even seen the whole movie. I watched part of it. I thought it was boring, so I stopped watching. It was Dances with Banshees. It was just basically it was not a very good movie. I didn't think. I mean, you can like it. That's fine. You're allowed to like it. You're allowed not to like it. That's completely okay. I've never seen it. I like Pandora. I love it. I think it's beautiful to look at. It's really cool how they got this alien foreign quality, and right after you come out of this bridge, it's like you're in another world. And at night especially, it's amazing. And the rides are good. The rides are very good. But I never watched the movie. You didn't have to. But most people don't go there because they like Avatar. So
yeah, they're going because it's a good ride. I mean, Disney, that's why so many of their rides are so popular, even if they're not based on IP, is the ride is good. And I haven't watched Avatar since pretty much since it came out 10 years ago. I don't care. Nobody's gonna care. But that was their plan, so good luck with that, Bob. At the shareholder meeting on Tuesday, Iger confirmed that Star Wars is on hiatus and it's officially begun. They were talking 2022. They were going to do another
movies.
Where is that? We don't know. If that was coming up, I think he would have told people, hey, 2022, we're going to have another movie, because by now they need to at least have a script or something. Mm-hmm. He had the priority for the franchise in the next few years is television. Disney has several TV projects in the works for Disney Plus. We know that Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming. We know
supposedly.
Supposedly.
Because now it's on depending who you talk to, it's on hiatus because they didn't like the scripts for that one, and they threw those out. And if they were what people reported on Reddit, they would have been a good show. So now we're going to go ruin it for TV. We're doing it to TV, and now we're already ruining it there too, I'm sure.
Yeah, so they have a Rogue One prequel show in the works. They have supposedly have the Obi-Wan show in the works. Ewan McGregor says that they just pushed it back to next year. But I'm also we're hearing about it, and these shows are 4 episodes, 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's how is this going to make up? They're basically a movie.
It's basically just taking the movie and chopping it up into content.
Because you don't have the overhead. You don't have to share your profits with the movie theaters.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend as much money to promote it and all that.
Yeah.
You're promoting it on your own stuff. When you already own Hulu and everything else, you can make people watch the commercials. That's what they do now. It's probably cheaper to do that than it is to have to do all the other stuff for it. So it just, financially it makes more sense.
It's just really sad to see Star Wars relegated to basically direct-to-TV. At this point,
Mm-hmm.
Everything Star Wars now is going to be on par with the Ewoks movies, because
I would say the Mandalorian is far superior to the
well,
Ewoks
no, I'm
movies.
just saying that's where it is right now, and and we have the sequel trilogy to blame for that. Sequel trilogy just completely has soured a lot of people on Star Wars. I think the damage is irreparable. The Mandalorian started to win people back, but how long until they screw that up? Because now they're all in on Baby Yoda.
I know, it's a Baby Yoda show. And they're going to do something dumb. If they haven't ruined it yet, they're going to ruin it because they're going to insert stuff. They're going to insert politics or, some shitty something in there. And then when people don't like it, they're going to be called names. And then that's going to go down south too, because you have the same people in charge who ruined things in the first place.
You don't want to go down south and insert things. Because things can get really, really messy and really sticky very quickly if you're not careful. I was talking about the fact that they probably will have baby versions of every Star Wars alien.
Oh my god, this is getting ridiculous. Well, not just them. Now there was Mr. Baby Peanut.
Baby Peanut.
So Marvel had Baby Groot, and then Star Wars, not to be outdone, had to do Baby Yoda, and now Mr. Peanut's gone, and they have Baby Peanut, Baby Nuts.
Baby Nuts.
It's Baby Nuts. So it's just
nobody wants to watch Baby Nuts unless you're really creepy.
It's
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is just really, this says everything, doesn't it? Like, Star Wars is not the cash cow they thought it was gonna be, and we kind of saw this with, firsthand with Galaxy's Edge. A lot of people are gonna go check it out. Again, this goes back to, the rides. People were like, well, there's a lot of people there. I'm like, well, there's a lot of people in Pandora too, but it doesn't mean they're going to go see another Avatar movie. They just want to ride the rides.
And, we'll look at the good and the bad about Galaxy's Edge, but it is a lot busier now that they have Rise of the Resistance open, which we said was going to happen.
Yeah, we've said this.
People like all the people out there. We told you. It's like, we said the same thing. Yep. We said the biggest mistake they made was opening Galaxy's Edge without Rise of the Resistance. I mean, that's the second biggest mistake. First biggest mistake was they didn't make it original trilogy.
That is the problem.
They opened it without both attractions, and people were waiting until now when they were both open. So it's really busy now because everybody waited until now to go. I also recommend, again, as we said before, do not come right now. You probably want to wait a few months when they stop doing the stupid boarding pass thing for Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, it's a cluster. But I think the biggest fail with Galaxy's Edge, once the novelty wears off, like you said, is it's not based on the original trilogy. The original trilogy is timeless. I'm walking around Galaxy's Edge, and for those of you who watch the live streams, it's like, where's the Star Wars? There's a couple random sequel trilogy stormtroopers that show up.
Yeah, like in Star Wars, you have all these different worlds and stuff, but it does seem like you're spending a lot of time on ships and things like that, and you get that a little bit in the ride. But yeah, it's mostly like you're in some backwater. It was like a sci-fi Morocco bazaar was what it is. And that there are really cool details and stuff there if you can see them, because you can't get to anything because there's so many damn people standing there taking selfies every 5 seconds that you cannot get into anything to see the detail work anyway. You have to wait in line just to, go into a store. It's crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that novelty is eventually going to wear off, I think. But, how this land is going to age, I think it was a huge, huge tactical error, because we've seen the decline of the sequel trilogy. We've seen it. I mean, it's so bad now that they're talking, we're not even going to do movies anymore for the time being until we figure out what we're going to do with Star Wars. And to go and not even base any of the locations in the theme parks on planets you saw in the actual sequel trilogy movies, but to make up a totally new planet.
Well, it looks to me like they were trying to go with a Mos Eisley type theme because the buildings look very Mos Eisley, but it's a big enough area that they could have totally done like a Hoth area, a Mos Eisley, different planets people recognize. They could have done that so easily. It's this one giant desert Batuu planet, and people are like, what the hell's Batuu? And their immersion is they have like 2 or 3 stormtroopers running around, and occasionally Kylo Ren, and Rey apparently comes out once in a while.
Yeah.
That's their interaction. And sometimes R2 is running around the Falcon if there aren't too many people. But it was cool. It was. I expected to react much more strongly towards it. Like I thought when I saw the Falcon, oh, I'm gonna cry and everything else. And I was excited to see it, but I was also like, there's so many strollers parked everywhere, I can't really look at anything. The strollers are out of control at Disney. Don't even get me started on the strollers. And it's just, I don't know. It was so busy that you really can't even enjoy it. And we went when it wasn't as busy. We were later in the day when there wasn't as many people there. Yeah,
well, Disney World's always, I mean, this week was really bad, too. They had a bunch of conventions, I guess, going on, cheerleaders and stuff like that. But it's just, it's just sad that, the sequel trilogy, which could have been a home run. I mean, it could have been a home run. It should have been a home run. They should have gotten the right people involved, and the fact they had no plan, and now I think they're going to see declines for years to come unless they get this course corrected, which is going to take, I honestly think, getting Kathleen Kennedy out of the way.
I think so, too.
Because it was on her watch that this all went down. But now the blame game again, because now it's so funny. Everybody's like, there's nothing wrong with the sequel trilogy. You guys are just, you YouTubers are just a bunch of haters. But everybody's like, you're just Disney Star Wars haters.
Actually, we're not.
We're not.
Well, you are.
I hate Disney Star Wars.
No. I'm in Star Wars in general. You said you're sick of Star Wars.
Here's the thing.
I'm not. I still love original Star Wars.
I love the original trilogy, but there's such a taint now that Disney owns it that I can't, because I know where these characters end up. Other than just being like, hey, this is no longer canon. We're gonna pull a.
This is your face right here.
This is me.
That's pretty much you.
I mean, I love Star Wars. I mean, when we first got married, I mean, geez, I had tons and tons and tons of action figures and collectibles and everything. And I even had a bunch of prequel era stuff, and Disney Star Wars just killed it. The sequel trilogy killed it for me. Yeah. And all the drama around it. So yeah, I'm pretty much...
I still like the originals, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I would like this 100 times better. We're going to do a separate video or live stream or something talking about our individual experiences there. But, you know, basing everything on the sequel trilogy was a huge mistake.
I agree.
It was a huge mistake.
Now, they have Easter eggs hidden for everything from the cartoons to the movies and stuff. But like I said, and it's hard to see them all because they're in different places you might not be able to get into.
Yeah.
Or you can't even stop to look at things because you're constantly being shoved, you know, forward by people because it's so busy. So you can't really even get those. You have time to appreciate it anyway.
Yeah, it's a stroller parking lot.
Oh my god, I'm so tired of strollers. It's a whole other video, but the strollers are far more out of control than they ever were, and I just hate strollers. Anyway, we're going to talk about the blame game here just for a couple minutes before we wrap it up. But you know, we've said that a lot of people blame Rian Johnson. And we had some other people come back to us, I think, in the comments and be like, no, you have to go back to J.J. Abrams. And I'm starting to come around to thinking that, yeah, the biggest problem was J.J. Abrams set up mysteries he didn't have good answers to. Well, he didn't get to make the... No, even beyond that. The biggest problem was that they could have set these up, but there had to have been an overall plan. The biggest problem with the isn't even... I don't even think it's Abrams or even Rian Johnson. I think it's Kathleen Kennedy and them because they didn't have a plan set out. They clearly set up stuff. He didn't put the original trio back together, which was really stupid.
They talk about this.
You know, they made Luke a reclusive asshat. You know, they set all this stuff up to be this way, and that is Abrams, but it's also Kathleen Kennedy because they should have had, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's the entire story laid out. Now we're gonna break it up into 3 chunks. That would have made sense. They clearly did not do that, no matter how many times they say otherwise.
Yeah, it's a mess. I still, to this day, can't fathom how you can spend so much money for a franchise and people have very simple things that they want to see in Star Wars. You know, very simple expectations. And when they sold everybody, and the reason that The Force Awakens made the 2 point whatever billion is because they sold people on Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill.
You thought they were going to, yes. That's why I went back. You know, it was funny. Squid King was making jokes about the other day. He's like, you know what was so funny? Because Mom, he's like, when she went into the theater, she had tissues ready. She's like, they're going to bring them back together. And I had tissues and I was so excited. And he goes, then we leave the theater and she's like, what the hell was that? Yeah. You know, because it was like so different from when I went into when I left. I was so mad.
Yeah, you were. Because I was kind of like, well, we'll see where it goes. But I'm also like, you killed Han. You know, there's no reuniting these characters.
Well, apparently being dead isn't dead.
That's not being dead.
So
as long as you can have, you know, force.
You can force the Force.
It's not actually the Force. This is the Disney Force.
It's Force.
So it's the Force.
Like Goofy. It's Force.
Oh, Force.
Well,
I'm gonna force you up, Mickey.
Oh my God.
That's my really bad Goofy voice. You know, so I mean, look, there's plenty of blame. I think the Star Wars sequel trilogy is going to go down in history as being the new Coke of movies. It's not going to stand the test of time. It's going to age very badly, banking on this sequel trilogy was a catastrophic mistake.
It really was.
And now they have to go back and rethink Star Wars a little bit. And again, you know, Mandalorian, it was a very simple premise. They just got it right. They showed some respect. They didn't feel the need to destroy the original trilogy. You know, they gave a little fan service.
Well, it was done by completely different people who were doing that. And I think Bob Iger was saying that he was actually kind of leading that group. I think more so than Kathleen. She was on it listed, but I don't think she was really...
She was doing the movies.
Yeah, I think she was off doing other things, and he was taking more of a leadership role in that. And we had Favreau and Filoni on that one, and I think that's what made the difference. And, you know, I think if we had those guys on this, we might have had a much different trilogy, one that actually worked.
Yeah, so I think they're going to kind of regroup, take a look at what's working on Disney Plus, and so, you know, I'm waiting for Mandalorian the movie. I'm waiting for that. Like, oh, you want the ending to the Mandalorian? You got to go to the theater.
I don't know. Well, then season 2, they're saying October, which I already knew. It was October of this year. So I don't know. We know we're getting the Mandalorian season 2. We know we're getting they have the Clone Wars the final season coming if it's not up already. We know we're getting the Cassian Andor Rogue One
eventually.
We're getting, Obi-Wan eventually.
Eventually.
And after that, who the hell knows?
I don't know. Maybe they'll do something with the ports.
What was he doing making all these books and comics that no one reads?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the books and the comics, Disney. You had the expanded universe. You burned it down.
Now people don't want to get invested again when they already got invested the first time and spent 20 years reading all these books for you to turn around and say, it's all gone now, except for what we want to cherry pick and change.
Yeah, and you could in 10 years from now be like, oh, we're going to reboot the Star Wars universe again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm waiting
they totally would do that.
I'm waiting for the biggest, most egregious atrocity that Disney could do is like, let's just redo Star Wars. We're going to start at episode 1. We're going to recast everybody. And then we're even going to plow through the original trilogy and recast everybody.
There you go.
And it would be catastrophic. Catastrophic.
It'll be Hannah and Leia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be. It would be. Luke Skywalker dies in the first 10 minutes of the movie because we don't need him. He's a punk.
Yeah.
We don't.
But
need
Hannah
him.
and Leia will save it all for everyone.
They will. So I don't know. I think we're going to wrap this one up, but it does look like we're done with Star Wars movies for the foreseeable future, which is good because I think the public is done with Star Wars movies.
For the foreseeable future.
They're done. They're out. Everybody's checked out. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.